Luigi's Mansion 3, a game where Luigi has to save his friends from King Boo by facing his fears and climbing up floors in a haunted hotel. Each floor you enter contains a unique portrait ghost, usually fitting the theme of the floor. So because there's so many, I'll soon be ranking them from worst to best in order of my opinion. Just two things that I have got to mention is that I haven't included Helen Gravy, King Boo, Polterkitty or Boocelus for various reasons. And this video is actually not a top 10 video. Sorry for lying, I just think top 10 sounds cool. But if you really just want to see top 10, click to the time on screen or click the link in the description. But enough with the talking, let's rank the bosses in Luigi's Mansion 3. Starting us off at number 15 has to be Steward. Steward is the first boss that you actually have to fight, and you encounter him in a basement while Professor Egad is showing you the way to get his portable tent. Unfortunately, only the Professor makes an escape, leaving Luigi to battle Steward alone. Steward is pretty much just a regular ghost, except he has a bunch of health and attacks using luggage of what I assume is owned by the people who fell victim to King Boo. Anyway, it's not much of a unique character, which is why I put it at number 15. Number 14, Chambrier. Once you defeat Steward and set up Egad's tent, you're then sent on a mission to fetch the Professor's suitcase, which he claims to have a useful item inside. You go onto floor 5 and search in his room, and you come across Chambrier the maid, dusting some stuff. She finds Egad's suitcase, but Luigi accidentally slams the door, causing her to hide it by swallowing it whole. Once you actually start battling her though, it's not as hard as I thought it would have been. You basically just shoot a suction shot at a rather disturbing place, and then keep slamming her on the ground until she flies through another wall. Something that could have been improved is the fact that she doesn't attack much and keeps going through the wall every time. Number 13, Amadeus Wolfgeist. To be honest, I really think this ghost is quite overrated. Yeah, the piano from Super Mario 64 is back, but it takes way too long to defeat. The first part of this fight is when he calmly plays the piano while controlling seats to come and kill you. The second part is when he gets ballet dancers to kill you as well. The third part is when he turns into a piano and tries to kill you again. And the last part is when he actually mans up and tries to kill you properly. The whole process just seems to take forever, and I found myself falling asleep halfway through it. But I still think that it's a decent boss fight, and I might have disliked it because of his stupid face. Also, nice piano scores, by the way. 12. Serpsy, or Serpkey, or Serspy. I have no idea how to pronounce their names, okay? Anyway, what I like about it is that it's a really unique way of battling. Like, you don't see a sandy Easter Island head attack you every day. Also, I like the terrain which you battle on, because you can interact with it by vacuuming it all up, or just using the burst to make a small sandcastle. But I still like the boss, it's just that it should make it clearer of what you have to do before you risk your lives. Number 11, Chef Souffle? Yeah, I'm not even going to bother pronouncing these names anymore. So you find this boss in a kitchen making food in a very unsafe smoky environment, where you have to use Luigi to remove the smoke. Once you do that, the chef notices you and tries hitting you with a frying pan like a professional weirdo. It's not a very challenging boss, but I still found it fun dodging Mr. Souffle in a narrow but fun kitchen. Starting us off at the top 10 is Cruller. After you finally retrieve the star-shaped key, you open the door to find a stereotypical police officer scrambling through a box full of stuff to try and find a weapon to defeat Luigi. He comes to the conclusion that a water gun is best, because even if Luigi slightly touches water, it would be the end for him. You control Luigi and go through the gate to take on Cruller. It wasn't a very challenging fight, which was good because I didn't really feel in the mood to get absolutely demolished just then. And I also find it cool to dodge the splashes of water coming my way. Overall, it's a pretty decent boss fight. Getting into good bosses now, at number 9 is Ugg. Great name, by the way. So in the History Museum, you just find a toad painting just lying there on the ground, so you'll use your dark light to get him out. But moments before you finish doing that, the T-Rex skeleton somehow comes alive and scares the stink out of Luigi. The dinosaur stomps up and down, causing large rocks to fall down. You have to suck up the rocks and blast them out the T-Rex's mouth or out its ribcage to try and free the toad. I found the whole process really enjoyable, except the part when I had no idea that you had to sacrifice Luigi's slimy chewing gum to keep the dinosaur distracted when there was no rocks left. After you destroy it, Ugg comes out and fights you like a real caveman. The bad news for him, that he was a breeze to defeat. Number 8, King McFrights. Okay, so there's many reasons why I like this boss. The stadium is cool, boss's attacks are pretty nice, the satisfaction when you get a hit on him is epic, and I probably could name a lot more. However, there are also some reasons why I don't like this boss. It's hard to attack, you have to wait a long time before he stops trying to get cheers from a fake crowd. Yeah, there's a fake crowd of people, which is pretty sad to be honest. But I think the pros heavily outweighs the cons, so I think this boss is decent. For number 7, I picked Dr. Potter. You find the elevator button just lying there on the floor by itself, so Luigi tries to pick it up, but suddenly a carnivorous plant held by Dr. Potter appears and gulps it down. Also, what is it with ghosts eating valuable items? Anyway, the plant accidentally reveals a motorized saw, which is vital to defeating this boss because you have to use it to chop the plant's neck off when you can. And once you do that, you can use your torch to stun the boss and vacuum him up. I had a lot of fun doing this, but my stupid brain didn't realise what I had to do, so I spent 5 minutes just running away like a professional weirdo. But apart from that, I think it's a cool boss. Our 6th spot is Johnny Deep End. On the gym floor, you have to eventually head to the swimming pool where the elevator button is. You go inside and spot a rapid ball flying into you at great speeds. Luigi somehow dodges it and takes cover behind a scoreboard where Johnny Deep End can't hit you. Once you take cover, you notice that the ghost only has 60 health, but it's not easy as it seems. There's a lever controlling how deep the water is at the other side of the room, but there's a gate in the way, so you'll have to use Luigi to get through. But his one weakness is water, which is not a good weakness to have considering you're in a literal swimming pool. But if you manage to get to the other side by distracting the ghost with his water polo volleyballs, you pull a lever and all the water pours out, trapping Johnny in a drain where you can easily defeat him. Number 5. Captain Fishhook. On the pirate-themed floor, you come across a giant ship with a valuable toad painting on it. You enter this boat, but Captain Fishhook appears with an elevator button in its eye. The boss dives down into the ship floor and magically creates a strange portal portrait, which if Luigi were to fall down, he would be doomed. He tries to chase you, while skinny yellow ghosts throw bombs in to try and force you to fall in. You can exploit that by sticking the bombs to your vacuum and dropping them into his mouth, or they could just fall in by themselves. After he got fed up with that, he came out of the boat floor and tackled you by himself. He repeats himself again and fails, so Captain Fishhook decided to scarily possess the whole boat instead to tip Luigi in. To avoid falling in, you need to cling on to the target and hang there for a couple of seconds. I also really like the fact that this boss is a shark instead of a basic human-like creature. For number 4, I picked Nikki, Lindsley and Ginny. When you eventually reach a room where the 3 little magicians are hiding, they turn into hats and trap you in some sort of never-ending void, which you can only escape by defeating the bosses. They start the fight by turning into hats again and flinging painful cards at you. Then they start swirling around you and try to get closer, causing Luigi to damage himself. But then you realise that you can use the burst control, and when they get close, you can just knock them over. And then you need to choose one from inside and defeat her. They proceed to do the same thing again, but they put a bomb in the hat that doesn't have anyone inside. When you use the burst control, then you have a 2/3 chance of picking the hat without a bomb in. But then when you get to the same point again, you only have a 1/3 of a chance. Also, when the light flickers at the last part, I found it cool and it kinda adds to the creepy magician theme. For the bronze medal at 3rd place is DJ Phantasmagoria. When you enter the dance floor, you come to find an elevator button laying there all on its own, so you pick it up, but Cheeseball Hair Girl comes up from nowhere and blasts super loud speakers, knocking Luigi away and probably destroying his ears and everything inside them. Anyway, a ghost wearing a bright red hoodie picks it up and starts dancing with his group. At least it could be worse as long as they didn't do the... You have to try and find the one hiding the elevator button by seeing which one's dance moves are a bit off. Once you think you've got the right one, you use the burst control and suck the ghost up. You repeat this for a few times until Cheeseball Hair Girl herself comes down and tries to finish the job off. It wasn't too hard at all, and I like the fact that you could just sit back and enjoy the music. For the runner-up at 2nd place is Clem. In the lowest floor of the hotel, you go into a massive room with Clem in it. Luigi stupidly makes the mistake of accidentally stepping on a squeaky rubber duck, causing Clem to wake up from his nap. He spots Luigi, so in an attempt of drowning him, he turns the water switch on. Luigi thankfully finds an inflatable duck, so without hesitation, he climbs on it for his life. Clem gets infuriated by this and hops on another inflatable to challenge Luigi. To defeat him, you have to use your vacuum to move around and also grab onto him and fling Clem into the wall of spikes, damaging the inflatable and making him fly away. The whole thing sounds extremely weird, but it's surprisingly fun getting to swim around on the duck while also battling the boss. It's not a long battle, and you can't control the duck perfect, but that's what I love about it. And now for the number 1 spot is Morty. When you have found Morty's red megaphone, he forces you to go into a set where you have to fight Godzilla. Many reasons why I like this boss include the fact that you're not actually fighting Morty, you're in a unique battle area, you're being recorded, and the fact that it's really unexpected if you didn't watch a Nintendo Treehouse footage. Once you defeat Godzilla, Morty stops the recording and takes the tape to his room to edit it. Also, he just hands you the elevator button, and you don't have to fight over it. Also, if you didn't kill him as soon as you finish the battle, you can actually see the edited footage, which I'm not going to show you today because this is the end of the video. So that was my top 15 list. If you want to, you can comment what your list would be. I would love to hear your opinions. But thank you so much for watching anyway, and because you've reached the end, you could like the video or subscribe. It's free, and you could always unsub if you don't like my content. But that's all from me, and have a good evening.